Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Board Games Daily, your daily dose of tabletop gaming discussion on Anchor. Now welcome your hosts, Jeremiah Isley, Scott Firestone, and AJ Skifstad.
Hey everyone, welcome to Board Games Daily. I'm Jeremiah. Thanks for tuning in again. It's Friday. You got to get down on Friday, as my friend Rebecca Black would say. So the weekend's coming up, and we'll be talking maybe a little bit about games, but we've got some more conversation on the topic. I really think I kicked up a dust storm with AJ and Firestone on this one, and also online. Some folks have been responding. It's been pretty fun. So we'll talk about that little Gloomhaven versus D&D, our role-playing games and stuff like that. Don't forget the contest, Tiny Epic contest from our good friends at Gamelyn Games. They're also getting ready to launch a Kickstarter for, they just announced Tiny Epic Tactics, which looks really, really cool, and kudos on them for another Tiny Epic game. They are so awesome. I really enjoy all of them. So don't forget that. Head over to theologyofgames.com. You can enter the contest there. Don't forget the hotline, 216-352-3864. You can call in, be a part of the show. Let us know what you think. Give us comments, constructive criticisms, whatever you want. Just call in, be a part of the show. It's a lot of fun if everybody plays too. And let's see, what else do I have today? I think that's just about it. We're going to get into the show and see what happens as the show progresses. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Jeremiah Isley. Here we go, Board Games Daily.
You can be more than just a listener. If you're listening via the Anchor app, you can be a part of the discussion by using the voice message feature. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Download the app and join the conversation today.
Hey there, everybody. This is AJ Skifstad. I'm going to weigh in on the topic this week, which is why not just play an RPG? Let me start by saying I have never actually played an RPG. I've seen them played and have stood around and watched a little bit of it happening. I played adventure card games like the Pathfinder adventure card games where you do have a card that you're leveling up for your character, and it is based upon dice rolls, whether you defeat monsters or gain items, the boons and banes. And I've played lots of dungeon crawlers too, like Descent, Imperial Assault, Legends of Andor, which is not necessarily a dungeon crawler, but it's got kind of this story campaign feel to it. So I played a lot of these games, but I've not played an RPG. And why haven't I played an RPG? And I am going to, actually, which incidentally is funny, because there's one coming up that I'm going to be participating in for the first time. But why haven't I? And why would I choose Gloomhaven over an RPG? Well, there's a couple reasons. One of them is physicality. You go to your local bookstore or your game store, wherever they're going to sell a D&D starter kit, and you get this small little box full of a book and some components that you need to start with, maybe some miniatures, maybe not. You might have to get those separately. Maybe some paper maps, maybe not. You might have to get those separately. And then anything you want after that, you got to buy new campaign books, or you got to keep investing into setting up each scenario by having somebody DM it and be ready for that. And I had a lot of setup at the beginning of Gloomhaven, but it's a one and done. I know how the scenarios work now. I know how campaigning works, and I know how the gameplay works. And I've got physicality right there. I've got cardboard dungeon maps that are double-sided, and they're all different shapes and sizes. I've got physical treasure tokens. I've got landscape tokens or barriers and things that are going to be overlaying on the map. I've got miniatures for everything that came in one box. I've got character stat sheets. I've got party sheets. I've got a huge map of the board of the Gloomhaven world, and I've got it all right there, packed in one box. $100, one and done. It was a little more than that, but it's $100, one and done. I can play it whenever I want. And one more thing, I love cards more than I love dice. This game is based on card play, and cards are part of your life in a scenario. Not your life physically, but it determines if you can remain in a scenario. This game, what does this offer me that an RPG doesn't? The physicality and a different style of gameplay that an RPG doesn't necessarily offer. Now, I said I played adventure card games. The Pathfinder adventure card game is cards. It's not, well, okay, it's dice too. That would be wrong to say that. But I like cards. So Gloomhaven does it for me. Now, I love Descent. I love Imperial Assault. I love Legends of Andor. Those are dice-based, but again, physicality wins. I have everything I need in a box, and I don't have time to set up scenarios and have somebody DM a scenario. Nor I don't know that anybody in my game group, with the exception of a couple, would even be. You got to have a good DM. That's just what I know. I've not even played RPGs, and I know you've got to have a good DM. So, for me, I want to play RPGs, and I believe that I'm going to enjoy them when I do play it. But there's something about having everything you need right in the box, having great artwork and cool things in front of you. I don't have to use my imagination. Hey, listen, we all work hard. We've all got jobs, and we've all got little time on our hands, most of us anyways. Sometimes I just want it out in front of me. I don't want to be as creative as an RPG demands. I just want it to be there. I like the creativity. We did have fun with creating our characters in Gloomhaven, creating the party. But again, it was a one and done thing. I'm not going to have to do that for a while until I get a new character. This segment has gone on way too long, but that's why I don't just play an RPG. For those reasons, I love what a boxed game still has to offer. And campaign is usually secondary to gameplay for me. So yeah, I love the campaign mechanism, the campaign game style, and going through stories, but that's an added bonus. So Gloomhaven for me, I love it, and that's why I choose it over an RPG. But hey, that's my opinion. What's yours? That's it for now. Check you later.
Hey everyone, Firestone here, coming to you with my thoughts on this week's topic of the week, which was, I don't know, it's kind of vaguely defined, but basically with things like Gloomhaven, which are trying hard to be a dungeon crawler kind of thing, why do we need that? Why don't we just play an RPG? And Jeremiah is the one that brought this up, and I see where he's coming from on this. I really do. But I cannot agree with him. I think that they serve two different purposes and have two different outcomes, really. I don't have a ton of experience with RPGs, but I've definitely played them. And there is a different feel, even when you're fighting, to me, than any board game I've ever played. And part of an RPG for me is the story and unlocking this world and talking to different people and also punching monsters in the face. Absolutely. But that's not all of it. And I know that some people RPG just for that and they want minimum story. And then other people RPG and want hardly any fighting and actually really enjoy the storytelling aspect of it. I get that. For me, it's kind of a mix of the two. But with something like Gloomhaven, it's a totally different feel. There's a little bit of story attached to it, but you're really just going to fight monsters and walk through dungeons. And that just seems separate to me. And to say, oh, well, why don't you just play an RPG is easy to say when you're not the one who's actually running an RPG. And so AJ put a ton of work into their first game of Gloomhaven. And I think that's what kind of spurred Jeremiah to say this, because he's saying, well, you could have, for that amount of work, you could have put in an RPG together. Well, sure, for one session. But basically, AJ has done the work on Gloomhaven, and now he's done. He might have some rules, questions, and things like that, but they know how to play, and they're moving forward. New dungeon, new story, new monsters, new things to explore. And that's done. With an RPG, you have to put in that work every single time you meet. Well, somebody does. And there are things that has to be done on the fly. You expect them to go one way, and they go a completely different way. And so now you're having to fix things on the fly and come up with new things. And there's so much more work. And even if you buy pre-made adventures for an RPG, for everything, that's still a ton of work. You have to read through it. You still have to be familiar with it. You can't just go, okay, we're going to read through this adventure and do it. That would be really boring and not immersive. And so there's a ton of work that still has to be done. And if you come up with your own, there's even more work that has to be done, ongoing basis. So an RPG hits a different niche for me. It has a different feel, and in my opinion, is way, way more work, it's at least for one person, than any dungeon crawler is. So for me, they are two separate beasts. If I want to just fight monsters and punch them in the face, I have Gloomhaven. I have Descent, which I love, and especially with the app now, there's even less that I have to do. I can just be a player and have that fun. And then for the RPG aspect, I can do that later. It's two different things for me. Hey, thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna bring to you a rebuttal of what AJ and Firestone said, and they bring up some valid points. I think, to be honest, I think Firestone had more valid points than AJ, but we'll get into that. So, well, we'll just stay there. We'll stay. All right. So Firestone said the time that it takes, even if you have a pre-created module, an adventure, a campaign, somebody has to be the DM and has to kind of be over that. Now, some people just don't have time for it. Personally, I love. I've DM'd very small, like one-off sort of adventures with the Star Wars it- RPG. I can't talk today, and it was fun. It was great. We had a lot of fun, and I like that. I think it's fun. I think it's cool trying to put the players into rough situations, and you can be creative as they kind of try to pick apart the world that you're sort of walking them through in this adventure. So yeah, valid point. Takes some work to get the game on the table, but I know personally, I know 2, 3 people that are totally into it, that totally love it, and they would. All I'd have to do is shoot a text and say, "Hey, my buddies and I want to do a D&D adventure. Would you DM it for us?" And they would jump all over the chance. Like seriously, they would be all about it. So, yes, that's a thing, but you probably know somebody or you can find somebody that will do it for you and you'll have a great time doing that. So, there's that. Now, AJ AJ went into this long list of reasons why Gloomhaven is better than an RPG because of the physicality, because of maps and miniatures and tokens and cards. So so you're paying 120, 130 bucks, whatever it is, for a copy of Gloomhaven for some minis and some tokens. Uh No, what you're paying for with Gloomhaven is the legacy aspect. You're playing for this realm that's been created and this campaign that you can go through with your friends and adventure through this story and everything and unlock all these legacy elements of characters that come and go and all of that stuff, which is very, again, very RPG-ish. But that's the draw to Gloomhaven, right? People aren't going, "Oh, this is the best battle mechanism that was ever invented. It's going to change the world." No, it's the legacy element that draws people to it. And AJ, you yourself said as you were texting, you're like, "This is so exciting and immersive, and we're going to be totally immersed in this experience and this adventure." So, yeah, I get it. Tokens and miniatures are cool and they're nice and they're fun, but the real draw to Gloomhaven is is the campaign. It's the story. It's the adventure. And sure, there's cards, there's a cool card mechanism there, but I could argue that there are parts of that that are kind of broken, at least at the beginning. Uh it's literally a roll of the dice. You could make the best play, and we saw this happen when we played. You could make the best combo. You could strategically plan out your turn and really go for a knockout blow. And then you flip a card over and it's wiped out. It is wiped out. That is no worse than rolling a one, a natural one, a critical fail. That is, or no better than doing that. It is the battle system is made to recreate an RPG system because of those doggone modifier cards. So I would beg to differ that that is any better than dice. Sure, you flip over a card instead of rolling a die, but you can totally wipe yourself out either way. So there's that. And then I was going to say something else and I can't remember. Oh, I just think and this to me goes back to the whole Dragonfire conversation that I had a while ago. This game is $100+, right? It's like $130 on Amazon right now, whatever it costs, wherever you get it. Why is why are even the first 5 adventures, why are they so stinking hard? Even ratcheted down to zero difficulty, we got our butts handed to us because we're new characters. We don't have cool cards yet. We don't have our modifier cards are still jacked up. Why? Why? My $100+ isn't enough? Isn't enough of a barrier to entry? I have to grind at this game and try this adventure 3-4 times until I get enough XP to level up or get some new cards or get some better gear or whatever. Why? Don't make me work. AJ's talked about, oh, I don't want to work. I just, I work hard. I want to sit down and play. Well, why is the game making me work? I don't know. So here's the thing. I say all that to say I do like Gloomhaven. I think it's cool. I still want to play it again. I want to get further into it and explore the realm of Gloomhaven. That is all still very true, but I have questions. I have questions about games that make you do that. I haven't played Dragonfire more than twice because every time I play it, it's an exercise in setting up a game and then putting it away. It's not an exercise in, oh, how much fun am I going to have beating up bad guys and having, fun slaying monsters and punching monsters in the face. It's not that at all. It's like, well, how long am I going to last? Maybe 3 turns this time before I get my butt handed to me. So there it is. That's a really long response. Where do you guys come down on this? Sound off. We got a great conversation going here. Call the hotline 216-352-3864, or you can hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you think about Gloomhaven and these types of games versus role-playing games. All right, I'm going to get out of here so we can finish up the show. Hey, that's going to do it for another episode of Board Games Daily. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the show. Don't forget, like I said in the intro, you can call the hotline 216-352-3864. Get in on this topic as we discuss it up until next week. We'll be bringing you results of our cage fight on Monday and a new topic on Wednesday. So there's still time to get in on all the fun that's happening here. And just head over to theologyofgames.com. There's lots of cool things happening there. There's other podcasts. There's other shows. There's lots of great stuff going on. So you can find all of that there. You can enter this contest. Also, I'm just going to tease this. We have another contest coming up very soon for a copy of Space Park from Keymaster Games. So if you want to find out about that, you got to get in on our mailing list. Go and sign up for the mailing list. It's right there on our homepage on the sidebar. You just put in your address, your email address, and you're good to go. All right. So that's what we've got. And let's see. I don't think I have anything else. I'm going to get out of here for the weekend so I can start playing games because I really think you should too. I'm Jeremiah Isley for my co-host, Scott Firestone and AJ Skifstad, saying until next week, you know what I say. Go play some games. We'll see you guys.
Thanks for joining us today. Board Games Daily is powered by theologyofgames.com. Don't forget to head over to theologyofgames.com to check out all we have to offer, including written reviews, our YouTube channel, and 2 other podcasts. If you enjoyed this show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you're listening. Thanks for listening, and go put a game on the table.